All right. Thank you for joining us on a special episode of CY Sideline Podcast. We're being joined by the Westfield head basketball coach, Coach Kevin Harris. Thank you for joining us. Scott and I are going to take a little time to ask him some questions. So, Scotty, kick it off for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to have Coach Harris here as being a Westfield guy. All my life, I was president of Boosters for a long time, so I wore my
Appreciate that.
Westfield
Purple. Yeah. Great to go W.
Trust me, I'm Westfield. These guys can't do it. Get rid of them. But man, you're really running a good program over there. 11-1 this year as of filming today with a big game against Patriot tonight.
Yep.
Before we get into all that, I'd just like to hear a little bit about the background and what got you into coaching.
My family's really big into basketball and coaching, and I just feel like as I got older and I stopped playing, that coaching was the next step for me. And I actually started coaching with my uncle. He was the head coach at Falls Church High School. I was the freshman and JV coach there for a couple of years, all while helping out with varsity. Then I followed him to Jeff Stewart, where I coached a couple of years, and then took a couple of years off when my younger son was born. Then jumped back into coaching at Madison, and then spent 2 years there before I got the head coaching job at Centerville.
Yeah, you're at Centerville. You won, what, 2 state championships there?
Yeah, we won one, and we had a COVID year where they stopped the season. We had a co-state championship. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's right. That was a good year. I know a lot of the kids on that team, like Chris Kazimka and so on. My son played some basketball, some of those guys back in the day.
Nice.
Went to a lot of those games.
Yeah,
those
was
were
an exciting season.
Those were some good teams there. And how long were you there? How many years at Centerville?
I was at Centerville for 6 years, 7 years.
Okay.
6 or 7, I don't know.
And then, did you take some time off before
I took
coming
a year
over?
off before coming to Westfield.
Coming to the bright side, I'd say.
Yeah.
The good
Both
side.
the bright side.
Yeah. Coach Shields, if you hear this. Yeah, that's awesome. And now you also played a little bit of college basketball.
I did. I played. Walked on to George Mason, played for Coach Larinaga there for a year. And like that level of coaching and preparation, you kind of see behind the scenes a little bit. It's top tier what they do and the dedication they put in at the college level.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think just this past weekend they had like the
reunion.
Within the last couple of weeks for Larinaga.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, he's well loved over there. It's pretty cool how he left, but he's still loved, and he still really loves Mason a lot. I think they have a good. How was it? I didn't realize you played for him.
Yeah.
So you said he ran a good program.
Great program. Great teacher of the game. Also, like cared about his kids as players. You know what I mean? Like for a guy that he wasn't the youngest coach, but he still interacted with us. And I talked to his grandsons. Actually played for me a while back in AAU, and he'd come to the games. We'd talk, and it was great seeing him. Great guy.
That's fun. Yeah, I've met him a couple of times. He's really engaging and really nice. And I have some good friends that are close to that program, and they went to the reunion and got some pictures with him.
Right, he's a great dude.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, let's get back to a little bit of Westfield local basketball here. So tonight you got a big game against Patriot. They're undefeated.
Yep.
Westfield's 11-1. So I guess you guys are getting prepared. This is the last game before you head into district play.
Yes, sir.
So what are your thoughts on the game tonight?
It'll be fast-paced. The Patriot plays at really high pace and puts up a lot of points, and they get after on defense, and we get after on defense a little differently. So we'll see who's, imposed their will more on the defensive end. We get more shots. It should be a lot of fun.
That'll be fun. They'll lead you into district play.
Right.
Coming into district play, you set yourself up with a tough schedule to begin the year.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Paul VI, where your son went this year, they're number 1 or 2 ranked in the country,
right.
And I think that's awesome that you guys went to their house and played them. You did it last year as well too.
Yeah.
Why do you schedule that?
It's for a couple reasons. I feel like that's a measuring stick for our program every year. We play all 3 levels. The freshman, JV, and varsity get a chance to play against PVI at PVI. Secondly, it's kind of like you don't know how good you are until you play against the best for our kids individually.
Yeah.
It's like you go out and test yourselves against those guys, and then the rest of the season is pretty much like, hey, look, we've seen the best. We saw that for 32 minutes, and now anybody else we look at, it's like, okay, we can handle this.
We can play with these guys. Yeah, I think it's cool. We've talked about that game here on our podcast.
Yeah.
At one point about that, it was the highest ranked private school in the post playing against the highest ranked public school in the post, and we chatted briefly about it, and that's interesting. You guys hung in there for a little bit. Guys got some good experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a team like that, they wear you down. They play so fast and physical. I mean, the year in and year out, they're top 5 or 6 in the country. So it's like, you know what you're getting into when you schedule that game. But I just, respect their program. Obviously, my son played there, but even before that, like respect the Coach Farrell and his program.
Yeah, that's great. And that's not, I'm not trying to sell other schools short, because you played a lot of games against some teams I'm not super familiar with.
Right.
That when I went back and looked at them, they're good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you played in a tournament over the break, and you guys won that tournament, and you get some big time teams.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We played a team from Washington State, a team from Massachusetts, and a team from Alabama. So getting out and playing different teams we'll never see or have never seen, and just different styles of basketball. So
yeah, I bet the kids enjoyed that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they had a lot of fun.
What-
Getting out, play some different.
Was that a local tournament? Or did you guys go somewhere?
We
for
were in
that?
Orlando.
Okay, even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
So
time.
it was like you play a game, and you spend the afternoon or evening at the park, and you come back and prepare for another game. So it was pretty exhausting, but it was fun.
It gives the kids the opportunity to get basketball and fun.
Right, yeah.
So,
Let them be kids.
yep.
They spend so much time trying to be cool guys.
How many kids do you have on the roster this year?
14.
14. Is that pretty standard?
That's how many I always keep. Try to
Okay.
keep 14.
14 is good, and you need to make sure you have 10 that can run up and down in practice,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Or else
Gotta have 10 guys.
Well, you're gonna have to get
No,
out
I
there.
have assistant coaches, JV coaches, freshman coaches.
Yeah.
You're
Long
retired from
list,
practice.
100%.
Full court.
I'll just do shooting
Okay.
drills, but just stationary.
All right, there you go. All right, well, good. So we're going into a lot of our audience is going to be more thinking about here locally.
Right.
So Concord District play coming up.
Yep.
Always a tough conference in all
For
sports,
sure.
pretty much. And last year you guys won it, correct?
Won the tournament,
Yep. You won the end of the season tournament and had a great season.
Yep.
And got coming up this year. Tell us about your thoughts on the Concord District. I know Oakton and Centerville are going to be are going to do well this year, but
Yeah.
you guys, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's every year. There's no like off nights. You go in and compete, and our district's kind of one of those where you play against a team that's full court man to man and trapping one game, and then Friday you're playing against a team playing zone, and you got to make shots and play more, high IQ basketball. And I just feel like the coaches do a good job with the guys they have on their roster, and they prepare for everybody the same. And like I said, it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, it was great last year winning the district championship, but then I feel like, we kind of got complacent a little bit, and we're celebrating and puffing our chests out too much, and we ended up losing the regional championship game the next week to South Lake. So I mean, it was a learning experience for us all, but you live and you learn.
Yeah, is that something that you're talking to the kids about this year? Is staying focused? I'm sure you are. And
For sure.
They learned a lot from that last year.
Yeah, and it's like we got to the point where we don't have to bring up that game or the end of the season anymore. Our kids are so locked in and ready to prove themselves this year as a new team. So
Okay, good. Well, we wish you luck in
thank you.
the conference, especially me being a Westfield game. I hope you guys do great.
Yeah,
It's fun to come out. When I came out last year, it was a lot of fun watching a team because I haven't seen a Westfield team play that good in a long time. So props to you in the
Thank you.
program.
Appreciate
I enjoyed coming, and I'm gonna try to get there tonight to the game as well. So
Nice.
I wish it was at home, but
Yeah, kind of right.
it's a Patriot, but
Yeah,
I'm
Patriot.
trying to get there. Yeah, you got some good players on your team too. Some well-known players.
Yeah.
Two sets of twins.
Brothers.
I mean, I'm sorry, not brothers. Two sets of brothers.
Yeah.
Yes, the Lee and the Stenberger, right?
Yep.
And in the Lee family, you have the older one. He's what, 6'7"?
Matthias, yeah.
Is he playing in college somewhere?
He has not decided on college yet, but he's going to look to play in college for sure.
He's going to look to play in college. And then the younger brother, Malachi, he's a dual sport athlete, right? Has he gotten back? He broke his pinky.
Yep, he set out like our first 5 or 6 games, and he's back now, healthy, playing.
Okay.
Had a great weekend in Orlando.
Well, some brothers, sometimes it gets competitive between them. I
Yeah.
mean, these guys, they get like that in practice,
I feel
behind
like-
closed doors. And
I
they,
feel like all of our kids compete at that level where it gets like competitive. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we compete in practice every day, and it doesn't have to just be blood brothers. It could just be teammates going at it and getting a little chippy. So
And that's kudos to the culture you're building.
Yeah, for sure. We wanna compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you've got guys coming in every day that they can be hard on each other, they can
Right.
get after it, and still come together for the common goal of winning
100%.
games and achieving hopefully a state championship down the road, whatever it may
Right.
be. So
For sure.
to go along with that, obviously winning games is important, and I know we deal with parents all the time and
Yeah.
playing time and things like that. And I'm not trying to go there, but how do you kind of balance that? Obviously, you want to win games, but developing the program,
Yeah, for sure.
right? Like, what are some of the things that you work through to try to make sure both of those things are kind of happening?
So we talk to our parents at the beginning of every season, all 3 levels, talk about, the freshman levels for development, JV level, also development, but more at a higher level, trying to get guys prepared for varsity. And at varsity, we're still developing guys because we have, like I said, this year we have a freshman, 3 sophomores, and a host of seniors, but and 3 juniors, but they're still developing at the same time. You know what I mean? Like we want to get those seniors prepared for college, and we want to get those juniors prepared to step in next year as seniors. So we're constantly developing kids, and we just tell the parents and the kids that playing time is earned in practice. You know, if you're competing and you're working hard in practice and the results are showing there, then the coaching staff has built that trust with you that we can throw you in the game.
Yeah, I like that philosophy too.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like your demeanor at games too, Coach. Been to some. I feel like you're very calm and relaxed during the game.
Some of the officials may not say that, but I try to stay relaxed and even care for our kids.
Yeah, I try to be the role model because. I mean, I used to coach youth sports. I get a lot more fired up than you as a high school coach. I'd be yelling.
You probably wouldn't say the same thing if you came and watched a baseball game with me on the sideline.
I tell our kids, man, my time is in practice. I'll do my yelling and screaming in practice. The games for you guys to showcase your skills, and I mean, I'll step in and correct and redirect kids as needed. But I don't have the energy to be standing up there running up down the sidelines, screaming at referees and players and stuff.
Yeah, with a team like that, with so many, I mean, it was doing so well, and the way high school sports has changed, it's head coaching, being a varsity head coach in high school sports is taking on a bigger role, I believe, these days. Because, for example, I'm sure some of these kids are getting recruited, and you're assisting with that. And that's a great benefit because you went through it with your son, a big time recruit. How's that changed over the years since when you started back in the day to now?
So I would say now there's more people involved. You have like AAU team directors, AAU coaches, trainers. Now kids can have agents that are involved with recruiting. So I mean, it's more or less now. I tell my kids to use me as a resource as much or as little as you need me. Of course, I want to reach out to schools for you on your behalf and give you that feedback on what those coaches say. But more than anything, it's just supporting the kids and the parents. It's a stressful situation where you're making a decision for your kid at least for the next year. And they might be going away from home for the first time and experiencing college for the first time as well. It's a lot of change. So.
Yeah, I bet. It's probably lots of T's you got to cross and I's you got to dot and kind of be careful about things that you're doing these days more than you could have in
100%.
The old days. I wanted to ask you, I'm going to circle back on the recruiting question because I felt like I left a little bit hanging there about the kids on the team. So you said 6 seniors, right?
6 seniors, yeah.
6 seniors. And for example, you got like Jamon Price and Isaiah Brown and other kids that are probably being recruited, at least at some within some level of college basketball. Has anybody on your team committed to play yet in college?
No one's committed. No one's committed yet. And I feel like that's more of the climate of college sports now, where if you commit too early, like now, then 2 or 3 kids transfer off the team you committed to, and they get 3 or 4 transfers in. The roster looks a lot different than when you committed. So the springtime, late winter, a lot more kids will commit
as the season kind of progresses.
Right, as the season progresses, and they can get a view of their roster. A lot of coaches are not really even looking for kids to commit this early. So
because they don't even know.
Right,
with the new culture, they spend so much time recruiting these days. Like, so it makes it a little tougher. And I think you never know. Some of these guys go out and have a great senior season. Might have had a good junior year, but can improve on it, and they might sell themselves short committing 100%. So early. So with this new landscape, it makes a little more sense that it's towards the end of their basketball season in high school.
Right. And that leads me to another player that you have, your son. He's playing for you this year. And you didn't coach your other son.
Right. Not in high school,
Yeah, not in high school. Through AAU and stuff like that, I'm sure you did. But now is it probably a cool feeling to have your son on the high school team that as a coach?
I mean, both of my kids grew up in the gym as I was coaching. So, like, just having them in the gym as, like, running around shooting and messing stuff up. And then now having him in practice on a daily basis and actually coaching him. And as a parent, I'm not a guy that's going to sit there and coach my kid during practice or during games. I sit back, let the coaches coach. On the way home, I'll have a couple comments on, like, hey, you need to work harder, you need to do this, stop fooling around. But, like, I let the coaches coach, and this year I have to coach my own son. It's different, but I think he's handling it well, especially as a freshman coming in to a team with a lot of talent, where his role isn't the biggest, but he's competing every day in practice. And I think that as a family, we're doing pretty well with it as well.
Yeah. I feel like, that's incredible to have 2 sons that are doing so well in basketball. I'm sure a lot of it comes from you and your wife as well.
Sure.
I mean,
for sure.
I'm sure
everything.
She has a lot to do with pretty much everything, probably, if it's
definitely.
like my house. So. Well, I'd be amiss if we didn't talk about little Duke basketball here. I mean, we got Zack here. He's a huge Duke basketball fan a little bit. You probably get asked a lot about it. before we get into your son himself, Darren, I'd like to just talk a little bit about like you as a parent and a coach at the same time, having a high school team, but also having to you want to see your son play basketball.
Yeah,
What's
definitely.
that like? I mean, is it stressful? Is it like you said you're not probably getting much sleep?
I mean, I had to deal with it when he was in high school as well. I was coaching 3 years out of the 4 he was at PBI, so it was hard for me to catch those games. Now the game's just further away, but they're on TV every time, so it's like you catch it on TV. But it's a tough task, like not being able to see him in person a lot. But I understand the sacrifice he's made, so he understands that I've been coaching basketball since before he was born. And it's just we talk basketball, we talk about games all the time. Our games, he watches our games as well on the NFHS stream. We watch his games and have a family group chat about it, so it's great.
Well, he is. I mean, how did he when he got the offer from Duke? I mean, that's Duke's the tip of the iceberg.
I was going to say kind of what.
Yeah,
like, what was that process like?
Right, yeah,
right? Like
I mean,
that was a little before it got crazy. I think right
it was
with
like
the
right before
NIL.
it got crazy.
So kind of what was that process like? Going through the recruitment and were there a lot of schools involved? The travel to check it out and
Right. So I mean, he played for Team Takeover. He played for them since like 5th or 6th grade, and they played on the Nike circuit, EYBL. And I want to say at Peach Jam, I think Shire came to check out Takeover 16s when he was a freshman. He played 16s, and had a great game. They stayed in contact. Obviously, Trevor Kills was at Duke at the time, or was about to be at Duke. Jeremy Roach was there. They've had recruited the area pretty well. And like you said, Duke's the tip of the iceberg. It's the top of the top. And the process was, I don't want to say nerve-wracking because it's a blessing to have that opportunity or those opportunities at any cost. But the amount of pressure sometimes, like kids put on themselves, like, I got to get this offer, or now that I have this offer, I have to live up to this standard. And it's a fact you do. Like, you have a target on your back when you're on that level. But I think he took it in stride. And, I mean, like as a coach and a basketball fan, like you go on a college visit and you're going to Cameron Indoor Stadium. It's kind of like surreal. But then you walk in, and it's like you kind of see behind the curtain. It's like, oh wow, like this is really like top tier. Like they do take care of everything for the kids, and like he's been happy there. So I mean, I'm glad he made the right decision.
Yeah, it's big time, and I would never ask if he's happy or not here good in public, but in a school like Duke, and you're in the basketball program, which is what they're known for. I mean, obviously, you're like Michael Jordan walking through that campus. Probably everybody probably knows who you are and stuff. So it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, and we go out to eat with them after the games, and like people like walk up and take pictures, say hi, but they're really polite. Like I think that it's the culture down there that they know these guys are there and kind of like leave them alone. You know what I mean?
Especially with their family.
Right. Yeah. Like, kind of like leave them alone, let them be, say hi, keep moving. But I can't speak for anything on campus. I don't see them like interact with anybody on campus during the day, but everything I've seen is just been, hey, what's up? How's it going? Like just keeping it moving and being really polite and respectful is privacy.
What's his life like in the off season in terms of basketball training?
It's a full-time job. I mean, either you're working on your body.
There's not much of a break, right,
No,
Coach?
yeah. I mean, last year they played in the Final Four, and I want to say school was out a couple weeks later, and he was home for a couple weeks. But when he was home, it was like he's working out either on his body, his game, recovery, repeat. It's just, and it was like 2 or 3 workouts a day. You got to eat the right stuff. Don't drink, hydrate, all that just stuff you don't think about like a 20-year-old or 19-year-old having to deal with. Like he gets home and it's like, hey, what's up? What are you up to today? He's like, well, I got to work out here, I got to lift here, recovery. Then I'll get some food, then I come back home and relax, and then I'll probably get some shots up later. And
It was pretty regimented, right? I'm sure they send him home with something.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think a lot of it this year was in his own.
Okay.
And he put a lot of work in the summer in his body in the game. And it's like you got to respect kids or any kid at that level that's doing that. Like I remember I was 19, 20 years old. I didn't want to get up and do all this stuff, 4 workouts a day, and no. But it's a reason those kids are at that level. So I mean, they sacrifice a lot.
Kudos to those guys. Now, during the offseason, does he have a chance to actually hit competitive basketball in, like games?
No, I mean,
they probably don't want that, right?
I doubt that. They do a lot of stuff like individual work and like small group stuff when they're at school. When they're here, there might be some like high level pickup games going on. They're playing a couple times a week, but nothing like
refs or
like that.
Nothing like that.
No.
Yeah. Is there?
I remember before.
Go ahead.
No, I think it was before he went to Duke. They came back. There was a group of the guys from PVI and everything that actually came and played pickup here, and it was 4 guys that all played in the Final Four. That like it was when Villanova and North Carolina and all those and all those guys. They were all here playing, and they had a couple guys that played overseas that were on break, and I just remember they came in and everybody just stopped to watch.
Right.
We had people coming in for other programming, and those guys are on the main court. But you could tell too, like they obviously want to get run in, but they're respectful of each other. They're at different schools, and they're all trying to accomplish the same thing, but. There's good competitive basketball, but there's not cheap shots you could see if they went and put uniforms and referees in, where someone's getting an unwarranted elbow or getting under somebody's legs. Yeah, they're all there to accomplish the same thing, and it's kind of that fraternity of we're all working together to accomplish it. So it was pretty neat to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, then it's a full-time job. I mean, I can't even really fathom because I'm like what you were saying, like 2 workouts a day. Nah, not happening. Tell me this. You don't have to answer this question. Rumor or not rumor? Back in the day, I know Darren had already accepted for Duke before he started his senior season. Mm-hmm. And some of the Westfield community said they were hearing that there was a chance he might come back and play for Westfield that year.
Rumor.
All right, yeah.
Rumor. I would have loved it. It was a rumor, though, for sure.
Yeah.
His group at PVI, the senior class of 2024, they pretty much grew up together. I mean, they played against each other growing up, and they started playing together in summers and at PVI, and they were such a close-knit group. And they still talk to this day. I mean, there was nothing going to get any of those guys to transfer out their senior year. I tried, trust me.
And he had a teammate in Dogba, right? Played with him. They played together. So how did that help in his transition, right? Obviously, you guys on the AAU circuit being around and traveling a lot, but being away from home, how did that help having somebody so close that he spent so much time? Did that ease the transition when he packed up and went to Duke?
For sure. I mean, I think that he had built a relationship with some of the guys that were on the team as well, aside from Pat, but him and Pat are close. And like you said, like when you leave and go somewhere, it's helpful to have somebody you've kind of been through it with before. So them being there together, I'm sure it's helped both of them.
Yeah. That's cool. Another kid on that team who I like a lot because I'm a Virginia Tech fan. Ben Hammond. He's been playing lights out.
30 the other day.
Yeah, that was awesome. He's
big fan of his.
Yeah, on that team. He was not recruited like those other guys, but
he bet on himself though, and it's paying off for sure.
Yeah, he's. What was Ben started right, and Darren,
Smitty, because Pat was hurt his senior year. Isaiah Abraham was at Georgetown. And Garrett Sunder, who's at Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's solid right there.
Yeah.
Just started their own college team.
We played them that year. It wasn't pretty.
Really? Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's probably bad right there. Oh, so you coached when your son you coached against him there? I thought you just played last year.
Yeah, I coached against him his first game in the PVI. I coached against him during COVID. There was no fans in the gym. It was just our team and their team. And back then, PVI was playing 40-minute games because it was COVID. You might as well get as much tape as you can. So it was a learning experience for our team there. And that was the team that won the state championship in 2021.
Really?
Yeah, Chris Kazemka and Avery Ford, those guys.
Yeah, we're playing the same travel team back in 6th grade time.
I remember that team,
Yeah, that was not to go anywhere, but and my son was not a part of it. He was D2 at that point. But that team, I think, won like 5.
Yeah, I don't think they lost the game in Fairwood County Travel.
I don't think so. Coach Heslop.
John Heslop,
Coach Heslop. Yeah, my son played a little bit for him. But and he's
good dude, man.
He's a good dude. But also, man, that guy had more energy than anybody I ever met in my life.
For sure.
One other thing, back to high school sports. It's a question I kind of skirted over. I'm curious about is the landscape's changed a lot. We talked about that from a coaching perspective, but from a player's perspective, it's changed a little bit too. There's been a lot of kids that are reclassing, and why are they doing that? And do you like that people do that?
I think it's an individual case. You know what I mean? Like if a kid hasn't grown, like hadn't hit their growth spurt, and they're a basketball player, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage going in 9th grade and giving it a growth spurt. As far as like physically developing, a lot of kids use that year, like even baseball players. I think baseball and like tennis kind of started this revolution of reclassing, but you didn't hear about it a lot.
I can see
those kids
for
hitting
sure.
weights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, getting stronger. The more college ready you are, younger, I think coaches notice that. You know what I mean? Like you walk into a gym and you see a kid who's 6'2", 120 pounds. You see a kid who's 6'4", 175, is kind of built a little bit differently. the coach will look at the 6'4" kid before he was just the 120. So,
yeah,
I mean,
especially in basketball these
Especially in
days too.
basketball.
Like it's one of those sports. It's the physical attributes
right, 100%.
stand out.
Yeah.
I feel like basketball and football are those two where they just stick out immediately, and that's I think part of the reason the reclass happens because
you got to pass the eye test first. Yeah, and I think that you can't say that everybody shouldn't do it, but I mean,
situational.
And a lot of times, like you would see back 25 years ago, kids weren't reclassing; they were going to prep school. So it's really no different. They're just getting the extra year before they go to high school instead of after.
Right. Is it a process within the county to get reclassed, or is it pretty easy?
From what I understand, most of them are homeschooled, or you have to go to a private school to do it. You can't do it within Ferris County Public Schools.
Oh, you can't. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that. All right, that's interesting because dynamics are always changing within high school
to go along with the changing dynamics. We talked about it. We're in this NIL era, and these coaches at that big level are obviously it's a business, and they're paid to win games, and they're going to try to go get those bigger, stronger guys. Have you noticed a drop off in recruiting of high school seniors because of it, and how does that affect those kids, and what do you see kids doing instead? Because if they're not a standout going to those big schools, what are their options?
I would say the transfer portal has deeply impacted high school recruitment, especially in basketball. Football, a lot of times those high school kids aren't playing their first year anyway. But in basketball, where you only have 15 scholarships, and you have a guy who has proved himself on the college level at either another D1 school or D2 or JUCO, or even international now, or the G League or whatever else.
It's
allowed to play now.
Yep.
And a high school kid who's really much proved himself against teenagers, you're going to spend all the money on the kid who's proven himself already. I mean, you still have a handful of high school kids getting recruited, like the top level kids that are getting these, big schools, but it's harder and harder for those kids that we used to see like kind of slip through the cracks, find their way in the Division I level as a freshman.
So with that, and we talked a little bit about the high school recruiting, and now that the new rule is JUCO stuff doesn't, do you think that leads high school athletes to kind of, instead of having a reclass, they can just kind of go that JUCO route and get 2 years to get bigger, stronger, faster, and not lose eligibility? Do you think that becomes more predominant?
I think so too. I think also a lot of parents reclass their kids to get them into a better high school.
Okay.
Like, I mean, if you feel like that maybe we can't offer you the same things that PVI can basketball wise, obviously, you would want your kid to be at his peak in 8th grade to get a look from PVI instead of Westfield, and maybe not even about college. So, but to your point, I think that, the reclassing and like the JUCO is great. I mean, we had a kid at Centerville, Doyle Brown. He went to JUCO, Richard Bland College, and he just signed to go to Northwestern State as a Division I player. So he's doing his 2 years at JUCO. Now he's going to play Division I. I think he goes in as a freshman as well. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, with the new policy. I think it takes an effect too.
Yeah, so it's great for him.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
I mean, it's a grind, man, for sure. Like the JUCO stuff is not, all
not for the faint of
no,
heart,
it's
for sure.
not. You got to put your work in. Like when you're there, you're competing with the same guys on your team and other teams for the same scholarship spots.
Yeah, and JUCO, that's a battleground probably down there without the hype. I mean, with no accolades.
You're not getting a whole lot. You're not getting all the glory that goes with it. You're not traveling.
Same amount of people probably coming to a game there. They're probably coming to a Westfield game.
Yeah, I mean, it's
probably
for the love of the game.
I would say probably less.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, kudos to those guys that make it out of JUCO and go that route. It's definitely a grind.
Yeah, well, that's all good information. We've been talking to you for a while. I had a couple just one answer questions I'm going to hit you with. Just 2 of them real quick. All right, in a game of horse, who wins? You, Darren, or Jaden?
Darren, I would say. I mean, you can always throw the flat foot, 2-hand dunk and I'm out. Jaden will be out at this point.
Well, you could box him out, though, right?
Only, jump shots only. I mean, Darren would probably win, but it wouldn't be easy. We would make it easy on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
All right. Well, we'll give him props on that one.
Yeah.
And then here's another Duke question. I won't put Darren in it, but I'll give your opinion. It may be kind of from him. Flag or boozer?
I can't believe you asked this question.
Like
am I starting a team or like who's a better player?
Who's the better player?
I think they both bring their own level of dominance to the game. Cooper flying around the court, blocking shots, leading the break in transition, hitting tough shots and facilitating, making the right pass. Where Cam is, you don't see a lot of like the highlight plays, but at the end of the game, you look and he has 35 points and 20 rebounds and 7 assists. I mean, We've seen some of those games this year so far, and like I'd say some of the games that he didn't have high assist numbers weren't his fault because guys were making shots. I mean, so it's like you can't go wrong with either one of those guys.
Yeah,
I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to pick. Like, you really can't go wrong with either one.
Yeah. Why did you think it's an easy answer, Mr. Duke?
I do.
Who do you think?
And I'll go with it. They're both great players.
Yeah.
I just think what Flag's been able to do in the NBA with the best of the best in 2 months kind of stands him out a little bit. If you went in and he struggled a little bit, I mean, somebody they don't talk about from Duke enough is the Knuppel kid.
Knuppel, yeah.
He's been great this year.
He's fastest to 100 3-pointers in the history of the NBA. Like, it's incredible what he's been able to do. And those guys, I mean, think of that team. They didn't make it to the championship and win.
Right.
And that might be the biggest what if for Duke. I mean, for a team to win. But I'm with you. Both of those guys are great players, but I just think Flag's a little bit above. Yeah. And go back to what coach said about Shire. I mean, that dude just recruits this area. I mean, he loves this area. There's something obviously there, but he can recruit. Right. And like, I would like to know as a guy. I was a big Coach K guy, but obviously Shire was handpicked by Coach K. So have you had interactions with Coach? And then
Coach K?
Yeah. Well, Coach K and Coach Shire. Yeah. Like, what are those interactions like? Because he just seems like both of them seem like genuine dudes.
Yeah, sure. Both are very genuine. We actually met Coach K on Darren's final official visit to Duke. Met in the office. His office is the top of the building next to Cameron. I mean, the wall, it's like a museum in there, like pictures and trophies and stuff like that. But like something that kind of caught me off guard, like humbled me, was like he was like, "Hey, how you doing, I'm Mike?" And I was like, "We know who you are. Like, in this place, you don't have to introduce yourself." Yeah. But it was great, man. Like he had some good advice for Darren and our family, and just kind of going through the process there. And I've seen him here and there, like we'll catch him on the elevator after a game or something, just speak and say hi, but keep him moving. Really, he's past the point of coaching and dealing with parents, and I understand that. So, Coach Shire is a great dude, super competitive. I mean, they, as a staff, when we were down there for visits, and even now, like you see them like get in shooting competitions or like let's see who the fastest is. Like just like being super competitive at everything. Like I think that's what drives him to recruit the way he does because he wants to win at all costs, and he's done a great job. I mean, but the fastest coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's
many wins in the ACC. Like
thinking about the guy you got to follow, the legend of Coach K, and you're there. Yeah. I mean, you've been to a Final Four already, and I just. When you talked about Coach Larinaga, just those guys kind of, for me, are like guys that I saw. I mean, I remember watching Shire play and being that guy. And so it's just cool to hear from the interactions with those people what it's like.
Both great people. I mean, you try to choose carefully or have your kids choose carefully who they're around as men. And I think that there's no better staff or like Coach K's in the area still at Duke to be around that staff there. So.
That's fantastic. Great. Well, as we wind down here, last thing I was going to ask you is I want to ask this question. Do you have anything to say to Bulldog Nation? You know, all the fans and specifically the kids that come out to your games, before we sign off and the district starts off, you want anything to say to them?
We appreciate all the love that the community gives us and, the school and the staff and the students and the parents and boosters. I mean, the whole Westfield community is great. I mean, to be here as opposed, I was in Centerville for a while and they had a great turnout, but then it was COVID and like there was no one in the gym. So my first game at Westfield, I was like, oh wow, like there's fans in the gym. Like we have to do a jump ball again. It was kind of an adjustment, but it's been great and hopefully we can, keep this thing rolling and make a trip down to Richmond.
All right. Well, we wish you luck and we appreciate you coming on, Coach.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Thanks for coming on, Coach. All right. Thanks for tuning in. That's our episode of the CYA Sideline Podcast. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at CYA Sideline Podcast. Thank you.